This is 90.9 WBUR. I'm Sharon Brody. A new breakthrough in medicine could affect the lives of nearly 30 million Americans. A startup in Cambridge may have created the first pill to treat sleep apnea, a condition that makes it hard for patients to breathe when they sleep. The startup was created in part by funding from the federal government. That resource is now at risk. Columnist Scott Kirsner from our editorial partner MassLive is here with us to tell us more. Hi, Scott.
Hey, Sharon.
Scott, this new pill seems like it would be a huge improvement in the lives of a lot of people. How does it work?
Well, the pill basically has two ingredients in it that are both trying to persuade your throat to think it's awake, because the problem with apnea is the throat muscles relax and then they close up and collapse and you can't breathe all of a sudden. So it's basically a drug that tries to trick your throat into staying, if you think of it as a straw, staying stiff and structured instead of getting soggy like maybe a wet paper straw would.
Hmm. Now, a lot of patients currently use these CPAP machines to deal with sleep apnea, which I think are cumbersome. A lot of people don't like them. So, discuss what the current treatment is.
Well, a lot of sleep doctors basically say, there are devices you can use. One of them is an oral appliance or mouth guard that tries to keep your mouth in a particular position so the airway stays open. And the other are these CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure devices that blow air down your throat when there's a risk of it closing up. But a lot of people either don't want to use a machine that has a mask that is on them all night, and it can make people feel claustrophobic. And this isn't just a problem of like waking people up or snoring. There are a lot of other health effects like stroke risk and heart attack risk that are tied to having sleep apnea and these breathing interruptions.
This company, Apnemed, what's their origin story?
This is yet another company in Cambridge. They have about 75 employees. They've raised a lot of money. And so some of the initial money for this research, when it was a kind of laboratory research project at Brigham and Women's Hospital, was funded by the National Institutes of Health. So about $500,000 of public funding went into the very early stage of trying lots of medicines for sleep apnea that didn't work and discovering this combination of two medicines that do seem to work. But then another $280 million of private investor money went in to kind of get the company started and get it through all of these clinical trials to gather data.
A lot of this NIH funding for research is in limbo right now. A lot of confusion, too. There's been mixed messaging from the Trump administration. And Andrew Wellman is the founder of Apnemed, and he's discussed the impact of this pause in federal funding.
The world needs to be aware that if you turn the faucet off, this invention never would happen. You're just going to lose the research. And I know that Americans do not want that.
So what do you think, Scott?
Well, what he's talking about is just the long-term nature of this research. This took 15 years to go from the lab to where we are now, which is not yet an FDA-approved drug that people can get prescribed for them. That's going to take another year or two. And so he says, look, if you turn off the faucet of this research, some people are just going to stop doing it. You're not going to be able to run as big a lab, to run as many experiments. And we're not going to see the effects of that tomorrow or next year. We're going to see the effects of that in 10 or 15 years with fewer new medicines hitting the market.
What's next, Scott? When could the sleep apnea pill as a product be on the shelves for people to use?
Well, the Food and Drug Administration gave it this fast track designation for drugs that treat some kind of condition that doesn't have a lot of options today. So the company is planning to file in early 2026, and the drug could potentially be on the market the next year, so 2027. That's fast in pharmaceutical industry terms.
Columnist Scott Kirsner, thank you.
Thanks a lot.